Good Wednesday morning. Glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise. A little early for the flowers to be blooming, but they might be a little bit confused over the last couple of days. And I will take that. Warmer temps yesterday. We got close to 60 yesterday.
I know. It was beautiful. My dog loved it. He finally will stay outside for more than 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever. But we do talk about the showers ahead, and I know you're tracking those.
Yes.
When we might see them.
Yeah, and we're going to get wet today. It just depends on where you are and when. I think everybody's going to see rain. That's the bad news. The good news is second day in a row, we hit 60, which is weird for this time of year. But let's get right to radar this morning. This is Live Doppler 13. And again, you know, when Lindsay was with you at 4, and since then I've been talking about this, above the ground, it's really dry, like really dry. So not all of this rain, or in this case, a wintry mix near Logansport, is hitting the ground. It's certainly in the upper elevations of the atmosphere. Some of you are seeing a few sprinkles to the north, Lafayette, out towards Rensselaer, and then in Benton County. And also notice now, let me zoom in here towards Rockville, where there may be a few sprinkles going on that stretches into Illinois. Already this morning, we're at 35 degrees, 34 in Bedford and 33 in Kokomo, 32 in Richmond, and it's 38 this morning in Terre Haute. You know, in western Missouri, it's in the upper 50s right now, so that warm air has to go somewhere, and eventually it's going to get here later today. Sunrise this morning at 7:22. At that point, we'll be right close to 40. In the 50s later today, this afternoon, with the rain arriving. We've got a warm front that will come through, then a cold front, and along that cold front, more widespread rain in the state. And again, we're going to top out at 60 degrees. The average high this time of year is 44. And how about this? Sunset tonight at 6:34. More on how long this will last, how much we're going to get, and the weekend. But first, time for traffic this morning, and it looks like we've got a problem on the west side, right?
Yeah, this is over on I-74, so kind of the west side of the metro. Got a crash here, Chuck. This is going to be on 74 in those eastbound lanes. Looks like we have at least one travel lane getting through, but as emergency crews are still arriving on scene, they might temporarily block this and cause some even bigger issues. So this is located just to the east of Ronald Reagan Parkway, in between there and Raceway Road. If you're familiar with that stretch of I-74, noticing that everyone's kind of merging over into that right lane with that left travel lane being blocked. This is the camera just one north of that. So this is the junction at I-74 Ronald Reagan Parkway. Should that delay start to build bigger, we would start to notice that along this stretch of the interstate. So we'll keep you posted on that crash again, I-74 just on the near west side.
Thank you, Lindsay. Let's get to an update on some breaking news that we covered yesterday right here on 13 Sunrise.
Right now, an officer is on administrative leave, and multiple investigations are underway after a police shooting that left one man dead. This morning, community advocates are even raising questions about the timeline that led up to this shooting.
Well, Matthew Foltz covered this as it was breaking yesterday morning and has some updates this morning. Matthew, what are some of those big questions that are being asked right now?
Yeah, Jalea and Julia, the big question from community advocates this morning is they want to know, was this shooting necessary or could it have been prevented? Now, let's take a look at the timeline of this entire officer-involved shooting. Metro Police say they were originally called to the area of Washington and State Avenue around 2:30 yesterday morning. A woman had said she had been assaulted near a gas station. While officers were speaking to that woman, one officer noticed a man come out of the gas station who they believed had an active warrant out for his arrest. Police say they tried to talk with that man, but he ignored them and kept walking away with his hands in his pockets. Police say officers then tried to get him to talk again before he took off running. That's when police say an officer ran after him and, according to IMPD, deployed a taser and gun, shooting the man with a gun at some point. He later died at the hospital. Now, Chief Chris Bailey spoke to us at the scene and says officers did find a weapon next to the man, a gun. And we were also told that officers had body cam videos or worn cameras at the time that were active, and we're working to see when that footage will be released. Now, again, community activists tell us that this morning they are hoping to speak with police at some point and get more answers, and so is 13 News. We do expect to learn the name of the man who was shot and killed by police sometime later this morning from the Marion County Coroner's Office. Of course, once we get that information, we'll be sure to pass that along to you. Ladies.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. It's a story that we've been working to clarify in our newsroom as well.
Well, right now, Metro Police are trying to piece together what led up to a fatal shooting on the city's Near East Side. This also happened yesterday morning while we were on the air bringing to you as breaking news. Police say they found Cruz Hodge shot in the middle of a road on South Oakland Avenue near Southeastern Avenue. EMS took him to the hospital, but doctors say that he passed away there. No word yet to pass along on any motive or any arrests in this case. In just a few hours, an 18-year-old man will be in court facing murder charges that date back to last year. That shooting happened in November near 16th and Arlington. Prosecutors say Stanley Proctor Jr. shot and killed Frederick Martin III last November.
A South Carolina man is starting his 33-month sentence after stripping naked and assaulting a TSA officer at Indianapolis International Airport. This happened in July of 2023, and some of these surveillance photos reveal what police say happened. Court documents state that George Stevens needed an additional screening when he went through the security checkpoint. But investigators say that Stevens cooperated at first, but then he started calling the officer names and got more agitated there. And eventually they say that he took off all of his clothes. He was later arrested for this incident here.
6:06 this morning, two police chiefs are sounding the alarm about a bill that they say could put limitations on reserve police officers.
This is House Bill 1186, and right now it is in the state Senate. In a meeting last night, the police chiefs for Southport and Albany say that the bill needs to be changed. And here's why. The bill restricts reserve officers' authority to the cities or towns that they serve in only. The major concern here from the chiefs is how the law is actually written.
We have reserve officers that travel a pretty good distance to get here to work. And if they are in uniform and they see something happening, can they act if they're outside this jurisdiction?
So a lot of questions. This bill also limits reserve officers from working as off-duty security.
Everybody needs a little extra money, and if they put in the free time, they've paid for their own uniforms, and they've done all that kind of stuff, why shouldn't they be able to do it?
Urge people to reach out to their lawmakers about this bill. Now, 13 News did reach out to the sponsor of the bill about these concerns, but have not yet heard back. When we do, we will, of course, update this story.
6:07 is your time, and this morning an 84-year-old woman is in critical condition after she was rescued from her burning home. This video behind me is something that IFD has shared with us, and you can see just how quickly this fire actually spread here. Fire crews did get to the scene around 4:30 yesterday morning on Windridge Drive. That's near 56 in Emerson, if you're familiar with that area. Firefighters say that house was engulfed in flames when they got there. IFD rescued that woman by climbing out of a window, and a few minutes later that roof collapsed, so they got to her just in time. A cat died in the fire, and we still don't know what caused these huge flames.
This morning, the Knightstown community has a new interim marshal leading law enforcement. Last week, you might recall we told you about the police chief and two council members resigning, citing frustrations with the town clerk.
You guys don't actually care about the community.
So pretty chaotic last night there as frustrations boiled over. This was a special town council meeting. The council quickly appointed Landon Dean to lead this new department, but community members still have questions about the unknown issues, which has been driving a wedge between multiple town leaders.
This can't be a cycle that continues to happen every 3 to 5 years because some Lord knows what, because you're not going to tell us what it is, between the town council and the police department.
Right now, the council is looking for someone to fill that role permanently.
Well, the push to bring that Major League Soccer team to Indianapolis is ramping up once again. As we first reported here on 13 News, MLS Commissioner Don Garber joined Mayor Joe Hogsett at a Pacers game Monday night. Well, now we're learning Garber also met with Governor Mike Braun. Governor Braun says it's still a very early process and there are a few things that need to happen before a formal bid. At first, the state has to sign off on financing a stadium. That likely won't happen until after the legislative session. Secondly, there needs to be an investor group in place. Mayor Hogsett says that that's a work in progress right now, but both the mayor and the governor said they do want to make this happen.
I want to make sure that cash flows. That's going to be easy for us to look at. I just view it as an opportunity that may not be around if we aren't actively involved.
Based on my conversations with the commissioner, he still is optimistic about Indianapolis's chances. He continues to say we're doing the right things.
Well, Mayor Hogshead says that he and the governor haven't talked about the issue, but they do plan to talk about this sometime in the future. So we'll keep you updated.
Tonight, the Pacers are back on the hardwood at Gamebridge to host the Raptors.
And they could be without two important players. So the Pacers are now listing Tyrese Halliburton and TJ McConnell as questionable for right now. Halliburton is dealing with some soreness, and McConnell has that right ankle sprain.
So the Pacers will be looking to bounce back after a loss yesterday to the Nuggets. Tip-off for this one, the Pacers and the Raptors, is at 7 o'clock tonight. Will that be a wet one to walk into, Mr. Lockton?
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Yeah, I sure did.
Yes, it will. But hey, I'm wearing my Pacers colors of blue and gold today. And the good news is that for the second day in a row, we're going to get up to 60. This will be the warmest day out of the next week. The bad news, as Julia mentioned, we have rain on the way, and we'll have a timeline for you, plus the weekend outlook coming up.
This morning, more than a dozen members of DOGE are stepping down as the push to slim down government ramps up. We'll tell you about the sharp words from the team about cutting essential services.
And another really close call on the runway. This mishap at a busy airport that nearly leads to another collision. Passengers describe this moment. That was surreal at 6:15.